Welcome back to Laugh to Keep from Crying. You're listening to Jeanai After Dark. Always remember, I'm doing this to heal, never to hurt. It's been a while since the last season, and a lot's been on my heart. When I left off, I was out in the open, nowhere to go, holding my baby girl, trying to figure out where life was about to take me next. People say when you hit rock bottom, the only place left to go is up. But nobody tells you how long that climb can feel when you're trying to do it with a child in your arms. So today, let's talk about it. I can't tell you exactly how it happened, but somehow I reconnected with a friend I used to hang with before things got bad. We weren't best friends or anything, but we were cool. She had a good heart. Her mom knew my mom, and that made it easier to talk to her about what was going on. When I told her I had nowhere to stay, she didn't even hesitate. She went to her mom and asked if me and my baby could stay with them. It was her mom, her sister, her, and her younger brother. The house was small, but it was just enough space, and it was more than I had. At first, my friend, she said we could share her room. Then her mom said the basement might be a better fit. You know, one of those old school finished basements with the cool tile, a little TV, and just enough room to move around. It wasn't perfect, but after having nothing, it felt like a break. Not comfort, just a pause in the chaos. For the first few days, things were calm. We laughed, stayed up talking, planned out how to decorate my little area downstairs. It felt like maybe, just maybe, life was settling down again. Maybe this was my reset. Then came the day we went back to my aunt's house to get my things. I didn't have much. 3 totes, 1 long one, and 2 smaller ones. Clothes, a few baby items, and whatever little pieces of my life I could fit. When we pulled up, I could feel the tension before I even stepped out the car. My aunt didn't say much, just gave me that look that said everything. We started loading things into the car, and that's when my friend said, "Maybe you should ask your aunt if you can leave some stuff here. My mom said you can't bring all that." And I get it. Her house was already full, but I remember standing there looking at my toes thinking, that's all I have. I didn't want to seem ungrateful, so I said okay. Told myself not to overthink it. Still, something shifted that day. It's like when you're already broken and someone touches the cracks. Not to hurt you, but just enough for you to feel how fragile you really are. Back at her house, I settled into the basement. For a while, it was fine. We had our own little routine. Her mom would go to work, her brother would play games, her sister would talk my ear off, and my friend, she seemed happy to help. But a week later, something changed. She mentioned her grandma, said she had a big house, a few extra rooms. Said maybe it'd be easier if we stayed there. Her tone was light, but her eyes told me it just wasn't a suggestion. And I can't lie, it stung. I just started to feel stable again. And here came another move, another shift. But what choice did I have? So I smiled, nodded, and said, if that's what works, then okay. She said I could leave the big stuff there until I got myself together, which honestly was a blessing. At least that part was one less thing to worry about. So when my friend said her grandmom had space, I thought maybe this was finally my break. She even said she'd stay with me so I wouldn't have to be there alone. When we got to her grandma's house, I could tell right away this wasn't going to be anything like her mom's place. The house was cleaner, quieter, stricter. You could feel the rules in the air. Her grandma was kind, but she was firm. She had a way of looking at you and that said, don't play with me. And honestly, I respected that. I found out later she was a foster mom, and suddenly everything made sense. She had seen a lot of kids come and go, so structure was her thing. It wasn't personal, it was survival. She started laying out ground rules right away. Curfew, quiet hours, when we could use the phone, even how to help around the house. It wasn't bad, just different. After everything I've been through, I told myself, if following a few rules meant I could have a roof over my head and a safe space for my baby, then that's exactly what I do. That night, after everyone went to bed, I sat on the edge of the bed while baby girl was asleep beside me and just stared at the ceiling. I thought about how quiet it was, how I'd gone from one house to another, trying to make each one feel like mine, knowing deep down none of them were. That kind of quiet is heavy, but I told myself maybe this is just what surviving looks like. New rules, new roof, same struggle. And that's where I'll leave it for now. Because what happens next, that's a story all on its own. Thank you for listening to Laugh to Keep from Crying. Healing takes time, but I'm still standing. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.